a surprise live. I'm gonna wait. Let's get a couple of people in here. I kind of wanted to start doing these lives a little bit more often. And since I guess I've kind of figured out StreamYard just a bit. This is like my second time using StreamYard. So I'm excited. So I wanted to try a live again with you guys and see what's going on this Monday afternoon in the Gypsy verse. Let's see if I can. I want to put up let's see if I can post a link. There we go. I just put the StreamYard invite in the comments in case anybody wants to come up and talk with me. But good Monday morning, or Monday afternoon, everyone. So I was coming home from work and I was thinking, you know how Gypsy went to have the conversation with Mia, talking about how there's times when Ken is, I guess the times that Ken's being nice to her and hugging on her and things like that, that he tells her that, one day you'll be my wife. That's kind of odd. Hey, Kane. I just think that's odd because you know that they were supposed to get married. They were engaged back when she was in prison. I think for a couple of years before she even met Ryan. And then when anybody asked them about, hey, when are y'all getting married or anything like that, Ken will say, well, it's in the cards. I think eventually we will get married. And they want to talk about Aurora's part in the marriage. Aurora's a baby. Because, they were talking about Aurora being the flower girl. And then Gypsy said, well, Aurora could even be the ring bearer. But wouldn't Aurora have to grow up a pretty good amount to be able to do all of that? So are you telling me that Ken is maybe thinking maybe in a couple years they'll get married? I mean, I don't think that they should rush into it or anything. But I don't think that Ken is even thinking about it. Kane, I think you're right. Hello from Arizona. But I think Ken is actually, or Kane, is he actually seeing what she really is, or has he known all along and he's just playing the part? And it makes you wonder, do you think that Ken and Ryan are even the slightest bit interested in the FOIA? Do you think they're reading any of that? Because if you remember, I think so too, Patience. But I think Ken is mostly waiting to see. I think he's riding this money train out for as long as it lasts. And then I think that whenever her money starts dipping, I think that's whenever he's going to dip out. He's going to say deuces, and he's going to get out of there. That's kind of what I think, which I could be wrong, but that's kind of what it seems like to me. But I'm wondering if Ryan and Ken is actually looking at any of the FOIAs and reading any of them. Because if you remember, um, Ryan would not even look at any of it. He'd never even looked at her interrogation video. Yes. How do I say your name? Shabbing? You think so, Kane? But Ryan? Yeah, Ryan. Yeah, Ryan will always make excuses for her. But I was telling you guys, I think that they set up Ryan from the very beginning. I think that they set him up before they even got married. And it was in there for her to leave and go and marry him. He looks better on paper. She'll get the parole, but I don't think that she was supposed to leave Ryan until after she got off of parole. That's what I think. Especially because you know how Ken, which is stupid for him to say, um, that, oh, I just wish she would have waited to get pregnant. What? Like, he didn't have anything to do with her getting pregnant. That was the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And the whole brush thing. I know a lot of people are thinking that that is his ex-girlfriend's. See, I don't think so. Because he moved from Dallas to Louisiana. Why would he move and take that brush with him? What if that brush was, I don't know, maybe he was dating somebody whenever him and Gypsy was taking a break? It could. I, I don't know. I just don't think that he would have brought that brush all the way from Dallas to Louisiana. I just think that's crazy. I think it's somebody else's. Or I know some people in my comments thought that maybe it was a plant by Lifetime, and maybe Lifetime planted it just to at least have something that's not so boring in her show, because it is, and she even admits that she's boring. You know, in my video this morning, she was saying, you know, in her live that she did, she said, I know I'm boring. I'm just bored. Who gets bored when they're a new mother and their baby is just a couple months old? How do you get bored? I just found that was crazy for her to say that. What do you guys think? I mean, yeah, I can't. That whole, I mean, that is really. And then she said that she found pictures of his girlfriend in his phone. So he had pictures of his old girlfriend. Weren't they together for 5 years? And then she wanted to say, I don't have anything of Ryan's. Well, of course you don't, Gypsy. You never even liked Ryan. You could tell that Gypsy and Ryan had no chemistry from the time that he picked her up from jail. You knew they didn't have any chemistry. Did you see the look on her face whenever he went to hug her? I mean, she looked like, help, somebody help me. That was just a weird thing to me. But I just think that Ryan was an easy target for her. Not only that, live close to her mom and dad. You could just tell that was a setup. But I know that I named this, is Ken really going to marry Gypsy? What do you think, guys think? See, I just don't think he's going to marry her. I don't think that he even has that planned, because they were engaged like a year into their relationship when she was in jail or in prison. And then when he broke up with her while she was still in prison, why would he do that? And said that he broke up with her because he wanted her to grow. That's just an odd thing to do. I could see him break up with her maybe when she first got out of prison, because she hadn't ever lived on her own. She'd been in prison so long. She needed to see what the world was really like. But he broke up with her while she was in prison, and she still needed somebody there to be there for her, to talk to write to come visit her. And he just left her high and dry there. Yeah, yeah, I agree with you guys. But do you remember when she first got out and was doing that media tour, and Ryan was with her? They went on that one podcast. They've been on it twice. I forgot. Nick Biles, I think. But if you remember when she went on that one, she was like, well, if he doesn't want to be with me at my worst, he doesn't deserve to be with me at my best. What happened there? Hey, Rocket Science. Oh, you're from Iceland. That is so awesome. Thank you. Thank you for liking my channel. Thank you. But, I just thought that that was really weird. And I really feel sorry for Ryan, because I think that Ryan really did love her. I think he honestly had that love where he wanted the best for her. And I think that he would have done anything for her. And I thought it was funny when during her show, and Gypsy told Christy, said, Ryan told me just to leave Ken and that he would raise the baby, and just to dump. And then Christy wanted to say, well, I think that he would start looking bad at the baby because it was a reminder of Ken. I just don't think Ryan was that kind of person. I think that he, and I think he still does, has true love for Gypsy. And I don't think that he would have been mean to the baby at all. I think that he really and truly loved her. Now, Ken, I just don't see that type of love. I don't see the love that would get you through everything, because everybody has good times, everybody has bad times, and I just don't think Ken is there for the long haul, to see her through all the bad moments, to see her through her trying new things and falling. I don't think he's here for that. And I could be wrong, but I just don't see it. I think he's there mostly for the money. And I hate that for her, but I mean, it's kind of karma. Because we all know karma. What does Nina say? Karma spins the block. And we know karma spins the block. So, I don't know. It's just kind of crazy to me. But I really think that if he had intentions of marrying her, that they would already be engaged. Kane, I don't know. Not only does she get the men, but they are dedicated to her. Have you noticed? I mean, the way she manipulated Nicholas Godejohn, which we know that, he was autistic. He did have a low IQ. So, but she worked on him pretty hard. That was 2 years of working on him. But I don't know what she does to take a hold of these men, and they will do anything for her. But see, I think, she couldn't do that to Dan. And I don't think she can do it to Ken either. Because I think Ken is there for the money. And the way Ken has been talked, on that show when they were at the restaurant, how he talks back to her and says all of, everything that he does, I just don't think that Ken is going to stand for all of that. And, especially right now, what's going on with these FOIA? This FOIA stuff is very embarrassing. I mean, if I was Gypsy, I think I would be like an ostrich, put my head in the sand, because some of that stuff that's coming out is very embarrassing. I don't understand it. And then, Bree, she got served by Toddy. And I think that things have been quiet. And I think it's been quiet in the Gypsy verse since Bree has been served. But, I think that if Ken was going to marry her, I think that Ken would not be the only one with a ring. Because if you notice, Ken is still got, he still wears that black ring, doesn't he? But Gypsy still doesn't have an engagement ring. And that ring of Ken's is supposed to be a promise ring. But, I thought that only, middle school people did the whole promise ring thing. I don't know. But Gypsy hasn't gotten anything. I think that's odd. That's why I really don't think that he is really intending on marrying her. Because we haven't seen him do anything that would, kind of signal that he wants to marry her. And I find something else is really strange. When they were talking about that house, Gypsy told Ken, that house is great for you and Aurora. And when he said, well, it's your house too, she kind of shook her head. That's strange to me. That's true, Joe. That's exactly right. And I'm telling you, with this lawsuit, I don't think Gypsy's going to be there for Bree either. She's not going to be there for her. And here, Bree puts herself under the gun all the time. She puts herself in the. She is a target for Gypsy. But do you ever hear Gypsy really talking about Bree? Kane, that's so true. Kane, I think that Gypsy actually bought her own Valentine's Day gift. That is so true. But I really don't think Gypsy's going to be there for Bree. Now she was served. Bree was served from Toddy. And I don't think Gypsy's going to be there for her. There's no way. And, it's awfully funny that when Gypsy went to that Post Malone concert, she didn't invite Bree to go with her. And I thought Bree was her best friend. But I think that after Gypsy gets off of her probation, I really think that there's going to be a divide between Bree and Gypsy. Because Gypsy's not going to need Bree anymore. Because then Gypsy will be off of probation or parole, and then she'll be able to fight her own fights. So I don't think that there will be even a need for her and Bree any longer. I think that she's gonna dump Bree. And you know what is so sad is Bree has got herself just so invested with Gypsy taken up for her. And I think that I don't know, she may end up having a nervous breakdown whenever Gypsy ends up not needing her anymore. Hey guys, did y'all hear about that waiter that waited on Ken and Gypsy at the restaurant? Did you see that he just made him a TikTok and he's doing content? He's calling himself the waiter that you've been waiting for, and he's talking about who paid for the dinner, who made the reservations. And have y'all heard that? I saw it on Morbid's Live, I think last night. And Morbid invited him to come up on his live. And I fell asleep and didn't get to watch the rest of it. Yes, Ido, Mike the waiter. Hey, Nika Moon. Yes, that's exactly who I'm talking about. Did he not seem kind of awkward? Isn't that kind of weird? And why would he be giving payment information, all that other stuff out? That's just weird. And, he didn't even have a TikTok. It looks like he just started that TikTok account after he waited on Gypsy and Ken. Yeah, such a weirdo. That was just strange to me. And then you had Dreamer making videos for Mike the waiter. Then saying that Dreamer was saying to Mike, oh, don't go up on Morbid's Live. He'll turn the mic off. And I'm thinking, no, he doesn't. Morbid doesn't do that. But I know who does, and that's Bree and Dreamer. They're the ones that'll talk over you, and they'll mute you so you can't even talk. Now, I have seen that. Exactly, his 15 minutes of fame. But what is so bad, there's no fame to get there. And I don't understand. I just can't understand with the FOIAs that are coming out. I don't understand why people are still following and supporting Gypsy. Yeah, I think Morbid is very nice. He's always, in my opinion, been nice and has always been inviting on his show. So, and I don't know why people want to say such cruel and mean things about him. I've just never seen him say anything mean or out of the way. But for Dreamer to say that he does that whenever, in hindsight, that's Bree and Dreamer that does that, not Morbid. But I'm just hoping more and more people, with this FOIA that has come out, I'm hoping more and more people is starting to see Gypsy. Because the new episode of Gypsy's show is supposed to be talking about how the creators are so mean and attacking Gypsy. What I'm hoping is with them airing that, that'll take more people to people's videos, like Becca Scoops, Nina, Ivory Rose Knows. People need to know the truth about her. And I don't understand why the news is not even doing the research. 60 Minute Australia was just an embarrassment. I had such high hopes for them and just didn't do good at all. But guys, I gotta go. I just want to do a quick live real quick. I just got home from work. Gotta take the doggies out and feed them. I love each and every one of you. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.